Welcome to the Dynasty Dugout Show, a podcast covering all things minor league baseball. Get a front row seat to the action with everything you need to know about the future stars of Major League Baseball. And now, here's your host, Chris Clegg.
Hello and welcome to the show. It's Friday. It's May 30th. We made it to the weekend. We've almost made it to June. That's crazy. We're here to talk some baseball, though. Lots of good minor league action yesterday to break down, and a ton for you to know about, from top performances to breakout prospects, etc. I got you covered with everything you need to know. Before you do that, I dropped my new top 500 prospect rankings on the site at thedynastydugout.com. Go check that out. I'll link it in the show description. Go see those rankings, get an edge in your Dynasty League, know the prospects that are moving up quickly. I will do an article about all the risers in the rankings and fallers too. That'll be out this weekend. Dynasty ranks updated as well this weekend. So subscribe to the site, support the work that I'm putting in. I would much appreciate it. It goes a long way, and it allows me to do what I love and bring you great content every day. Before we get to the show, our show is brought to you by Connect Roasters, Ian Happ's coffee company. Connect Roasters is an incredibly smooth blend of coffee, and they give back in many ways. It's a great company. The coffee's good. You can go to Connect Roasters and get the Gold Glove blend of coffee. Buy one, get one 50% off using the code Dynasty Dugout or the link in the description. Also, the show is proud to partner with Chinook Seedery, the best sunflower seeds in the game. Chinook has a wide variety of flavors. However you like your seeds, they got them, and they're all delicious. Go check Chinook out today. They're also sponsors of the College World Series coming up, which is pretty sweet. I think the Golden Spikes Award they sponsor, which is cool. So, yeah, they're making a big name for themselves. It's a great sunflower seed. You can get 10% off your order using the code Dynasty Dugout at checkout. All right, let's talk some hitters who made a big impression yesterday. We have to start with the one, the only Josue Briceno. Briceno can mash, guys. There's just no doubt about that. He popped off last spring when I saw him. So spring of 2024, I saw him. Whoa, this guy is legit. He grew. He moved off catcher, playing first base. Okay, this guy is doing it. And he's actually caught some this year, which is surprising. The plan was to move him completely off the position. He has caught 12 games, nearly as many as he played at first, which is fascinating. But the crazy thing is, he's coming back from an injury, and he blasted 3 home runs yesterday. He added another earlier in the week on Tuesday. He's just been torching this poor team in Dayton. I mean, what he's doing to him is absurd. He had 4 hits, a double, 3 homers yesterday. With Briceno, the exit velocities are off the charts. I mean, it's plus or better exit velocities pretty easily. It's a big frame at 6'4", a massive power stroke. I've loved all my looks at Briceno. I don't think he's going to catch long-term. I don't need him to catch long-term. I think he's going to be a really good hitting first baseman, because what Briceno brings to the plate is not only power, it's a good approach too. He doesn't chase often out of the zone. It's a solid approach and very good contact skills for Josue Briceno. So when you look at the contact numbers and you see above average contact rates for a 6'4", 6'5" first baseman, all right, you check some boxes. When you see plus EVs, check some boxes. When you see a good approach, check some boxes. And you see everybody loves Xavier Isaac, and I get it. He puts up big power numbers, big home runs, but Briceno does everything better. I mean, he may not hit the ball quite as hard on the upper end, but he hits the ball hard enough to hit for power for days. The hit tool is good. The contact skills are there. He gets the ball in the air at a 70% rate. He gets to the pull side nearly 50% of the time. Briceno is going to leave the yard often. So Josue Briceno is a dude. Where did I put him on updated rankings? Frankly, I don't remember off the top of my head. It was near the top 50, 44th in my updated rankings. So go check those out. Josue Briceno is a legit prospect, if you didn't know. The power, the contact, the approach, everything you want to see from Briceno is good. And he's a big boy, but he can still do it. So Josue Briceno off the top today in a rightfully deserved spot. Love what he brings to the table. Franklin Arias, who continues to swing it well. Arias was just ranked the number 8 prospect in baseball by Keith Law. That's very high praise for Franklin Arias. And I love Arias. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big Franklin Arias fan. I've seen Arias a lot Arias was a major breakout last spring when we saw him in the backfield. So, okay, this guy coming stateside, he looks the part. And that's exactly what he did last year at the complex. He broke out. He went to single A. He was good. And he was so good this year, he only stayed in Salem for 86 plate appearances. I've had him in Greenville for pretty much all this month of May, and he's continued to hit. We're talking about contact rates that are some of the best in baseball right now. In high A, Arias is running a contact rate of 93%, which is wild. It's an interesting profile. I think that, so to rank him as a top 10 prospect in baseball, personally, I think you have to be very confident that he's going to stick and be a really good shortstop. The power is still a question for me because the exit velocities have regressed. The hard hit rates regressed with Arias from last year. The frame is interesting. There's not a lot of room to add to it. So I kind of wonder, and again, he's 19 and a half, so like he could always grow. But I kind of wonder how much power projection he actually has. And you don't really see that until you see him in person. The clock times are below average. I know people looked at him and said, wow, this guy stole 35 bases last year. He must be a plus runner. And his clock times are like 40 grade, actually. And I don't see him getting much faster over time. He has stolen 7 bases in 10 attempts this year. But in high A, he's just 3 of 5 since joining the team in Greenville. Again, stolen bases should be taken with a grain of salt in the minors. So Arias, for me, I have him as a top 50-ish prospect. He's ranked 54. I'm just not willing to go overly high, like top 10 on him. I respect those that do. But personally, I just don't see the upside there. I think he's a great high floor hitter. And I mean, he can't deny what he's doing. He's in high A this year, hitting 374, 415, 535. Contact rate's back it. The approach is good. I mean, it's also somebody that hits the ball on the ground a lot that could benefit from a swing change. So Arias, really good prospect. I'm not sure he's an elite prospect, though, at the moment. But Keith Law is a great evaluator. So got to give him credit where credit's due. I'm just not quite there on Arias. Where I am high, though, is Jesus Mate, who I fortunately got to see for a whole series in late April. And the guy just does it. He's continued to get better all year. I mean, this is a top 5 prospect in the game at this point. Mate had 3 hits yesterday, a triple shy of the cycle. He homered, he walked, so he got on base 4 times, and the numbers just keep improving. The contact rate keeps going up. The power's off the charts for his age. We're talking about a 9th percentile exit velocity, north of 106 miles an hour, and he's 18. The average for his age is like sub 100. So the power is nuts. I mean, he's legit like 8 miles an hour higher EV-wise on his 9th percentile than people his age. Yeah, he just turned 22 in the beginning. He just turned 18. I was reading 18 years and 22 days on his birthday, but he just turned 18. Like, when I saw him in April, he was still 17 years old. That's wild. But Mate can swing it. He's a good shortstop. He's got projection still on the frame. He checks a lot of boxes that you want to see. I think Mate's a potential superstar. And I use that term very lightly, but Jesus Mate is a dude. But we've talked about 3 pretty big name prospects that stood out yesterday, but what about another that doesn't get the buzz, but I've started to push pretty aggressively at this point? That's Esmerlyn Valdez of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I saw Valdez last year a decent bit when I was in Florida. He's an interesting prospect. It's good power, and it has been, but the contact rates were really concerning. Well, the power's translated over. I mean, he's hitting balls up to 115, which is crazy, and he's got several over 110. And again, this is somebody that's 21 in high A, so like age appropriate, but a young 21. So age appropriate, it's a big frame. He's listed 6'2", 181. He is much bigger than that. Let me tell you, I've been around him enough to tell you he's much bigger than 6'2", 180. So Valdez has 15 home runs after last night. He has 7 in his last 14 games, which is just stupid. I get it. Greensboro is a hitter's haven. Like a lot of the South Atlantic League, that's high A, ballparks are hitter-friendly. His home park in Greensboro is. Asheville, where they just played last week, and he hit 3 homers, I think, last week, is, just a Little League park, essentially. Greenville can play pretty hitter-friendly. There's a lot of hitter-friendly ballparks, but Valdez power transcends any ballpark, in my opinion. It's easily plus or better. And now he's got contact rates that are backing it. He's cut the strikeout rate pretty notably from single A last year. When you strike out 31% of the time as a 20-year-old in the Florida State League, it's kind of like, like, I just don't know about this guy. Well, it's still high, but he's cut it to 26%. When you bump levels and you cut the strikeout rate, it's notable. And when you look at the contact rate jump too, we've seen the contact rate jump by about 3 percentage points. That's a notable gain. Now, you see Valdez, he's slashing 297, 372, 611. The approach looks pretty good. He's walking at a 10% clip. He's always had a pretty respectable approach, which is good. And the power is light tower power. So Valdez is running a 163 WRC plus, which is insane. I think he's good. I bumped him up pretty substantially. It's like a top 250, 200 prospect. And I'm kind of buying into this profile where it's clicking, and I think it's clicking pretty hard. So Esmerlyn Valdez, that's Esmerlyn Valdez. I'll have to spell the next name for you, too. That's the password, Jhostynxon Garcia. Jhostynxon spelled Jhostynxon. Jhostynxon Garcia. He's just going off, and he's in AAA. He got a big jump for me in the rankings, too. And it's somebody that I saw last year and really liked. He came to high A last year, and I was like, yeah, this kid can swing it. He put up absurd power numbers, but he's taken some pretty big steps in several areas, starting with the approach. Now, last year, he ran like a 35% chase rate, which is concerning when you chase that much in high A and single A. It doesn't really bode well for you moving up. He did go to double A last year, and he started the year in double A this year. Now, Garcia still continuing to swing it well. You look at what he's done since he's gone triple A. Yesterday, he homered again. He's been on a tear since going to AAA, having several multi-hit games, and, hitting the cover off the ball. The numbers look really good under the hood. I'll pull those up for you because the exit velocities were good last year, so it's like not a completely new thing for Jhostynxon Garcia, but this kid's also a hitter. Like, I saw him turn around a 101-mile-an-hour fastball on Yarlin Susana last year, so that was pretty impressive. But right now, we're looking at a 9th percentile EV of like 106 on Garcia, average EV of 91 miles an hour. The contact rates are good. You've seen the kind of average he's hitting for. He's mashing in AAA, but the contact rates do back it a little bit at least. And we're looking at a contact rate right now at 78%, which is pretty good. Most of it coming from his AA stint, but those numbers do look legit. The chase rate's been cleaned up a bit. He's cut, the O swing is down. It is back up in AAA, which is interesting, something to watch. Like in AAA, we are looking at a chase rate of around 34%, so keep an eye on that. But it was down to like 25% in AA, so we'll monitor that and see. But I do think Jhostynxon Garcia, the question is, where does he play? Because he could impact this Red Sox team soon, but they can't even find a spot for Roman Anthony. But if we're honest with ourselves, that's just all about contract issues and trying to get another year of control. Like, no one will openly say that, but that's what it's about. It's not about Roman Anthony needing to work on anything because look what he's doing night after night. The conversation for another day, though. Jhostynxon Garcia is checking boxes. So Garcia, he's good. I've loved what I've seen from him. I loved getting to see him live last year. Great nickname. The password is a dude. I bumped him up pretty substantially in my rankings. Let's take a quick break, and we will get back and talk some pitchers that had big days yesterday. And a lot of these aren't big names, so it'd be some names to know that could be rising up ranks.
Running a business is hard work. Building your website shouldn't be. With Wix, you can express your ideas, give direction, then leave the heavy lifting to AI. From site creation to branded content and images. Have fun with the details. Customize what you want the way you want. And manage your whole business from a centralized dashboard with expert AI tools. Build, scale, and enjoy the incredible results. You can do it all yourself on Wix.
All right, so we ended the hitters with a Red Sox. And any chance I'm going to get to talk about David Sandlin, I'm absolutely going to do so because Sandlin's got the stuff. It's really electric stuff from David Sandlin. And he put on a show. He had his best start of the 2025 season last night. He went 7 innings. Awesome to see. 3 hits, no earned, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. So very encouraging from Sandlin just to see him go that deep and to pitch exceptionally well. Now, Sandlin, why do I like him? Because the stuff's off the charts. Like, his fastball sits mid to upper 90s. He touches 100, and it's above average IVB. He locates it well. He gets plenty of whiffs, and the arsenal is deep. Like, I said it at times last year because I said on quite a few Sandlin starts, and I said on Sandlin starts where he would have like 25 whiffs. Like the stuff was as deep as really anybody in the minors, I thought. But the slider variations, though, a sweeper in the mid-80s, I think that was a gyro slider near 90 miles an hour. He'll even mix in a cutter that's got less horizontal at like 90 as well. The cutter and the gyro blend. The sweeper's like 15 inches of sweep. But it's really the splitter that's so nasty. I mean, the splitter reaches 94, anywhere from 90 to 92 miles an hour. It's kind of a splinker, like Paul Skeens-esque splinker, but Sandlin also has an 80-mile-an-hour curveball. Now, they have pulled back a little bit as far as like the pitch mix goes, and they've tried to like take less strain on his arm because he did have a forearm issue last year, so they did pull back a bit, and he's throwing less pitches, or he's not using the whole arsenal all the time, but the arsenal's still very electric for David Sandlin. There's plenty of reasons to be excited about this arm. He just needs to, one, show that he's durable, and two, stay on the mound. Like, that's really some of the biggest things. He stayed on the mound this year. Now he's going deeper into starts, and he went 7 innings last night and looked really good. The last 2 starts have been extremely good for the Sandman, David Sandlin. Another guy who also has a lot of upside is Tekoah Roby. Roby featured a new changeup last night, and Roby's pitched really well all year. The start lowered his whip to below 1. He's got a 2.68 ERA in Double-A. And Tekoah Roby went 5 1/3 scoreless yesterday with 4 hits, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. Roby's got stuff. I mean, he's got stuff for days, but unfortunately, Tekoah Roby has not stayed healthy. That's the biggest flaw. And the best skill is sometimes availability. And Roby hasn't been available a lot of the time. I've seen Roby pitch several times in person, and it's always a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of what he brings to the table. And unfortunately, there was a shoulder injury last year that limited him, 38 innings. But when he did pitch, he was good. Fastball's like 95. He topped 99. It's a really good movement profile. Hammer of a curveball, like in the low 80s. Very good pitch, a lot of chase. He'll throw a cutter and a slider, mid-80s slider, upper 80s cutter, and the changeup, which new grip on it, like recently, and it's said to be a kick change, which looks pretty good. So deep arsenal, and when Roby's throwing strikes, like he's got it working. He's thrown a lot of strikes this year, especially in the month of May, where he's only walked a total of 4 batters in 5 starts in May, so that's obviously pretty notable. And we've seen some steady improvements. Roby looks the part. It's just all about health for Tekoah Roby. But arm to know and arm to keep an eye on. Boston Bateman, very buzzy because the Padres drafted him 2nd round last year. He got a $2.5 million bonus. He's a 6'8" lefty. Now, most 6'8" lefties are bullpen arms, and that's kind of what I see when I look at Boston Bateman. Now, they're going to develop him as a starter. That's obviously the goal. You draft somebody 2nd round out of high school, you definitely want to try to develop him as a starter, and that's what they're doing. Bateman's going deep into starts at times. He's had a 6-inning outing. He's thrown into the 6th another game and had several 5-inning starts, and last night was one of those. Bateman went 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Bateman's an interesting prospect where he's got good stuff. I'm just really concerned that it's reliever-esque. Like, won the frame. Like, it's rare, like I said, for a 6'8" arm to be a starter. Hard to do. It's not impossible, but it's hard sometimes. Bateman's walking about 10% of batters, which is fine, and he's got a 26.5% strikeout rate. But the arsenal, it doesn't have a whole lot where it's like, yeah, this guy's absolutely electric. It could be. Now, we are talking about a prep arm, so obviously worth noting there. You know, when I watch Boston Bateman, I see like A.J. Puck. That's kind of what I see when I watch him. Fastball works low to mid-90s. He's topped at 97 before, but it's pretty heavy extension. Good carry, very high release point on that pitch. He'll drop in a curveball like 12-6 shape. And I think the biggest thing will be a development of a changeup for Boston Bateman. We need to see a changeup further developed, and if so, then we are maybe looking at a starter. We'll see. But the changeup, we'll see how that goes, and ultimately, who knows? Could go a lot of ways here. I mean, it's probably split camp 50-50 if he's a reliever or not, but a lot of development to be happen with Boston Bateman. Another draftee last year, Jonathan Santucci of the Mets out of Duke. He was a 2nd rounder, got a $2 million bonus. Santucci If you look on the surface, it's not been a good year. 4.95 ERA, a 1.46 WHIP. Those things don't look great on the ledger. But Santucci is really picking things up. He had a 5 earned run start over 4 2/3 on May the 9th. And since then, he's had 3 starts where he's allowed a total of just 1 earned run. So 15 1/3 innings, 1 earned run. And last night was, again, another good start where he went 5 1/3, 2 hits, no earned, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. So Santucci's a fascinating arm. You look at what Santucci brings to the table, and you look at the Mets pitch dev, and it kind of bodes well. The Mets pitch dev is pretty underrated, one of the better in baseball. If you didn't know, they built a state-of-the-art pitch lab, and it's legit. Now, Santucci, he's got a good arsenal. It's a riding four-seam fastball, mid-90s, like 94. Pretty good IVB from his release, flat vertical approach angle, good stuff. Now, it's primarily 2 pitches for the most part. He's throwing a fastball and a slider, gyro slider with pretty good swing and miss characteristics, 83, 85 range. And the changeup, I think, is something that I'd like to see him utilize more because it's good. Like, it could use a little more velocity separation, but it has some decent traits. So the biggest question, I think, is regarding command control. Now, as I said, that's cleaned up a little bit, but still, we're looking at a walk rate, and each of the last 3 starts, it's still 2 walks. It's not been really bad, but it's not been great either. So right now, the strike rate for Jonathan Santucci, it sits at 63%, which is above average, so that can play. We'll see how it all pans. I trust the Mets to develop pitchers. I know Brandon Sproat's moved backwards, but Santucci has taken some steps forward in the last few starts. Let's see if that trend continues, but that's going to do it. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to go check out the new prospect rankings, subscribe to the YouTube and on your favorite podcast platform. I'd very much appreciate it. But we will talk again tomorrow, but have a great Friday, folks, and we'll see you this weekend.